Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and oops, I just missed my turning. But yeah, we're doing a seasonal championship today. We're not doing one of these for a while, but yeah, we're going to be in B-class Japanese retro sports cars for this championship. So yeah, not quite the kind that we're driving right now, because obviously this is more modern, but you know, this was inspired by some of those kind of vehicles. So yeah, really looking forward to trying them out, because I really do like them, and one of them is actually part of the festival playlist, as it's been recently put into the game via the festival playlist, so get to try out one of those. But yeah, not done one of these for a while, purely because, well, I only really like doing these championships when they've got cars in them that are interesting, or that we've never had the chance to drive before, or any other reasons, basically. And sometimes there are only like one car that are in the championship, or maybe two or three, but never enough really to, you know, get me excited enough to actually do one. But yeah, there's plenty to choose from here. I think we've got at least a dozen to choose from.
You have arrived at
least 4 different manufacturers. So let's see where we're going to be racing and what we're going to be racing in. So yeah, we're up near the canyons for this one, then near the motorway, and then a bit further south for the third one. So yeah, we've got a pair of Honda NSXs to try out, the 2R versions, the one from the 1992 and then the 2005 version. Kind of look the same, but a bit different in terms of power and weight. And then we've got a pair of RX-7s. We've got the Spirit R Type A, which is the best version of the RX-7 as far as I'm concerned, and then the more base model version. So yeah, the Spirit R is better in every way, pretty much. Better in terms of how it looks, better in terms of acceleration, better in terms of handling and braking. Speed might be on the download a little bit because of the rear spoiler, but still, also got more power as well. Then we've got the Mitsubishi GTO, which is quite a heavyweight vehicle, as you can see, more than 3,700 pounds, but it does have a lot of power. It's easily one of the more powerful cars here. It's more powerful than the previous four, for instance, and it's got a decent amount of torque as well, and it is all-wheel drive, so yeah, plenty of grip. Then we've got a brace of Nissans, my favourite of which is probably the GTR V-Spec 2 and the Fairlady Z version S Twin Turbo. They're my two favourite out of the bunch, but still, Nissan do a fairly good job with their sports cars in general. And then we've got a pair of Toyotas. We've got the Supra RZ and then the MR2 GT, which is yeah, newly added to the game via the festival playlist. You get this for 20 points at the moment, so yeah, and it's well worth getting. We'll try that one out last, as yeah, that's the car to we'll look forward to. But yeah, I just noticed that the Supra has the same kind of power and torque as the GTO there. Not sure if they share the same end. No, they don't, because I'm pretty sure the Mitsubishi is a V6, not an inline 6. But yeah, that is a weird little bit of a coincidence there. But since yeah, the Mitsubishi is one of my favourite cars here, as I like the GT aspect that it's going for. You know, it's not meant to be a, you know, full-on sports car. It's a GT car with plenty of power. So yeah, and plenty of power it has. So let's see what this one can do. Now, it looks like we're going to be in cars that are all red in this series, in this championship, because pretty sure the next one I'm going to choose is the Nissan from Nissan Z car from the 90s, and then obviously we're trying the MR2 in the last race. So yeah, bit of a red theme going on here, but definitely 3 different kinds of ways of doing these kind of vehicles. This has all-wheel drive and a lot of weight, but also a lot of luxury on the go, whereas the Nissan is a lot more sporty, a lot lighter. And then you got the MR2, which is mid-engine rear-wheel drive, whereas this is front-engine all-wheel drive, and the Nissan is front-engine rear-wheel drive. So got a nice variety of different layouts as well. And yeah, even though this is a bit of a heavyweight and a bit soft as well, it's still a pretty good car. It's hardly a slouch either. More than capable of getting up to good rates of speed, and that all-wheel drive system is definitely helping keep the car on the road for the most part. Definitely got more power than most here. So because it's been a while since I've done one of these, I've not actually had lengthy talks about anything that's going on in the gaming world or anything like that. But yeah, recent announcements for Forza Motorsport, which is again been delayed, are somewhat promising. Although I am a little bit concerned about the amount of cars on launch. It does seem like, again, we're in a situation where, because it's on a new console, because it's all new technology and all that lot, they've had to rein in the amount of cars that they're putting out on the game. So yeah, it's feeling like a kind of Forza Motorsport 5, kind of Forza Motorsport 6 situation, but hopefully the amount of cars that they add to the game after the fact bump up those numbers a fair bit. But yeah, around 500 cars really, for me, isn't enough on launch as far as I'm concerned. Especially when you consider what the likes of Gran Turismo 7 have had. I'm pretty sure they've got like 1,000 or thereabouts, so maybe even more. So yeah, and I know Gran Turismo 7 has less in the way of graphical detail and all that lot, but that is still a game that has, you know, the physics when it comes to driving and all that lot. The numerous tracks and environments and, you know, 90-day cycle and whatever. So yeah, it does feel like a fair bit is being put into how the game looks and not necessarily the amount of content that is in the game. I'm all for graphics being improved and physics being improved and lighting and, you know, all of that lot being improved, but not at the cost of, you know, what should be hundreds of more cars. We should be at 800, 900, even 1,000 cars by now at this stage in the, you know, the technology that consoles have and all that lot, and yet it still feels like we're lagging behind. It feels like it takes another game into a console's life for the Forza Motorsport series to play catch up. But regardless, hopefully it is going to be a good game. But yeah, got first place there, decent margin, not a massive one though. But yeah, the car was a bit soft and did take a while to really get up and go, but still, first place is first place. So let's move on to the second race and see how we do on that one. So yeah, the GTO is a little bit of a Japanese come Americanized version of a sports car. Bit soft, bit safe, but still a plenty powerful vehicle and a fun enough one as well. But in terms of actual fun, the Fair Lady Z from 1994 is more my kind of thing really, especially in terms of the way it looks. I know it doesn't look great here now because for whatever reason that glitch which darkens out the headlights and glass and whatever is still going on. But yeah, plenty of power, a lot less in the way of weight than the Mitsubishi there, and yeah, a bit better in terms of handling as well, despite only being rear wheel drive. So yeah, let's see what this one can do. I imagine this will be better, as in quicker to get through the grid. But it's also, for my money, a more fun car to drive. And like I said, a lot better looking as well. I absolutely adore the way this looks. Probably my favourite looking Z car, quite frankly. But there are a lot of similarities between this and the Mitsubishi. Rev up to the same kind of limit there. Same amount of cylinders, same amount of turbochargers. This feels a little bit rawer. A lot less safe, that's for sure. The engine noise alone is better as far as I'm concerned. No, it's nowhere near as powerful, but it is, like I said, a lot lighter. You're talking more than 300 pounds less, which is a significant difference. Obviously, you know, 40 odd horsepower is also a significant difference, and about the same amount in terms of torque, but still. A lack of weight pays dividends in more ways than just acceleration. Also helps in terms of handling and braking and general controllability. Also think this is less reliant on its turbochargers as well, so any turbo lag is a little less prevalent. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the GTO is on automatic as well, so the gearing isn't quite as nicely set up. Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the new Forza Motorsport game. Obviously we still don't know a lot of details, and we don't know all of the tracks, for instance. Yeah, even though we know the number of cars and roughly thereabouts, we don't know what manufacturers are going to be returning and the like, because obviously there were a few manufacturers missing in this game. No Alfa Romeo, for instance. Which, yeah, a little bit disappointing as far as I'm concerned, because I love Alfa Romeos. And we've had a fair few nice ones added to the series over the last few years. Forza Motorsports, for instance, put in the Alfa Romeo 75, which is easily one of my favourite Alfa Romeos. So, yeah, I do hope they make a return to the Forza series, as well as some hopefully long lost cars in the Forza series as well that we still haven't had since the Forza Motorsport 4 days, which I know I've probably harped on about a lot already, but still, I love those cars that are missing from that game. Even the crap ones I enjoy. So, yeah, but still, we've got first place again there. Again, not a massive margin, I don't believe, but still, a first place is a first place. Let's see if we can make it a 3 for 3 in the third and final race. Right, for this third and final race, we are going to go with the MR2 GT, which is a bit more middle B class. The other two are on the low end. And yeah, got a decent amount of power and torque in this. Obviously, it's the least powerful car that we've used in this championship, but it is also the lightest by a considerable margin. It's also the only mid-engine car that we can choose from, I believe, on this championship. Oh no, obviously the NSX is a mid-engine as well, but the only one that we're going to choose for this actual championship. So yeah, and yeah, I really rather like this car now. I didn't used to. I used to not care for it at all, really. But when driving it in this game for the first time in a Forza game for a while, I yeah, found myself starting to enjoy it quite a fair bit. So yeah, I think the reason I resented it originally is because I really like the supercharged version from the 80s. I like its, you know, square looks and the supercharged engine and all that lot, whereas this is obviously a little bit more rounded and it's turbocharged and not supercharged. So yeah, I think I was just a bit resentful of it because of those two reasons, but those two reasons are why this car is as good as it is in some respects. Turbocharger is providing a hell of a lot more power and torque than the 80s version, and the rounded off looks not only make the car look good, but also you know, provide it with more efficiency. So it's better at the top end. More than 160 mile an hour out of this car, which is pretty impressive for a sub 250 horsepower vehicle. So yeah, really good car, really, and yeah, I do highly recommend getting it. Like I said, it's only 20 points, so it doesn't take much effort to get it. And at the end of the day, it's a new addition to the game, a new addition to the series. Again, third car in a row revs up to 7,000 RPM. This is even better balance, quite frankly, because it is mid-engined. But even if it wasn't, the way, given how little this actually weighs, I don't think that would make much of a difference. We're talking more than £600 less than the Nissan. Talking more than £1,000 less than the GTO, which is, yeah, a considerable weight saving. Yes, this has about, what, 70 horsepower less, but I don't think 70 horsepower would make up for that £1,000 weight deficit. And then you got the addition of the fact that this is quite small, the lack of weight makes it really agile and nimble, and yeah, lack of weight also means it can make the most of what power it has. So yeah, which, despite not being as much as the other two, is still hardly a small amount. this weighs as much as a hot hatchback from what, 5-10 years ago or whatever, and yet it has more power than a lot of hatchbacks from that period. So yeah, that's kind of putting it in perspective about the kind of speed that this has going on. No, it's not the quickest sports car from its time, and certainly wouldn't be nowadays, but it's just fun and it's satisfying to drive, which quite frankly is all you really need in most cars, quite frankly. It's got well balances going around there, sliding around, held it nicely, and then it's got plenty of pick up and go when you do come out of the corner. Big shame that I wasn't able to review this, because unfortunately again, like so many cars that are added by the festival players, returnees, there's no opening of bonnets or hoods or whatever else, so yeah, which is a shame. But it's still well worth getting, and yeah, easily giving us our biggest lead in this championship. So yeah, there we go. That's a fantastic car. Probably the most fun I've had in any race in this championship. In some respects, probably my favourite car that we've used in this championship. So yeah, again, 20 points, 60 points overall. Bit of a walkover in this championship. We've had far harder championships, but we did at least get to talk about the new Forza Motorsport game. We got to try out 3 fantastic cars, and yeah, had 3 enjoyable races as well. So yeah, nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.